Hey YouTubers, Mike Martins here, Mike Martins channel, coming to you with another housing crisis video. But this is a very important and informative video. This will be an informative video for those who are in this housing situation, especially living in Toronto. So a lot of people did use their equity to buy other homes, or use their equity to buy Jaguars or jewelry and or other things they shouldn't have bought, where they could have just saved and bought it properly. But a lot of people enjoyed the ATM machines that their houses were producing in this gigantic, massive, overly phenomenal bubble. So today's little show is called Game Plan Housing Cools. So what do people have in the cards to help them organize or prepare to cushion things when they have to refinance and realize their LTV, loan to value, doesn't match up with how much they're borrowing because the house lost value? You got to watch out for that, guys, because this becomes a credit crunch nightmare. You're going to have bank examiners looking over everything, trying to see what they could do for you, but the home just doesn't have the value it needs, or it won't come back. The appraisal won't come back. Sorry, my camera likes to focus in and out. So the appraisal won't come back what you need it to come back, and it won't fit. The LTV will be too high. So the deals just won't be working, especially now with this whole stress testing and everything. So it's going to be a tough cookie to crack right now. So Game Plan Housing Cools. Let's see what this article is published 9 hours ago. Guys, don't forget, if you want to support the transmission, buy something on my eBay shop. And if you're in Australia, just message me to tell me you watched the show. Because I had somebody message me, and they wanted me to ship to Australia, but I didn't know they watched the show. And then they replied back and say, I like your show. And I'm like, oh, I can ship to you. Let me get you the best rate possible, humanly possible. If you're in New Zealand, UK, same thing. Okay, guys? Here we go. You need to change your financial game plan when housing cools. So this is very important, guys, because what are you going to do if you rode that ATM machine for the last 3, 4, 5, 6 years? People have been living off their equity. A hot housing market feels awesome if you own a home, but there are side effects. You spend more. You spend more when your home is rising in value, and you put less money away as savings. You'll need to fix that when the housing market falls, or move sideways for a while, with interest rates possibly rising again on Wednesday. Don't miss this possibility. A new report from CIBC Economics highlights the two kinds of saving: active and passive. Active saving is putting money away, while passive saving occurs when assets you own rise in value. For the past 20 years, passive savings have ruled in Canada and Australia and New Zealand and the UK. Canadian Real Estate Association numbers show the average real estate house price gained just over 6% on average annual basis from 1997 to 2007. A strong housing market dulls your motivation to save actively, and it also prompts you to spend money you might not otherwise have saved, to a much lesser extent. The same applies to strong returns from stocks. You know, the CIBC study quotes Bank of Canada numbers showing that consumers spend 5.7 cents of every dollar in the increased net value of their home. This suggests that over the last decade alone, rising home prices have resulted in total foregone savings of $160 million and reduced the national savings rate by 1.5% on average. Let's keep going. I don't know who's messaging me here. Economists use the term wealth effect to explain spending triggered by rising prices for assets such as houses and stocks. My joke is that if the value of your house went up 10-15% a year, you go to your wife and say, you know what? We're richer. Let's go and have a nice dinner on the house. CIBC Deputy Chief Economist Benjamin Tal said. Mr. Tal believes that with housing markets cooling and price gains harder to come by, it's time to get back to active savings. The challenge here is to convince people that house prices won't keep rising enough to lessen the need to actively save. The Toronto market slumped badly this year, although June results showed modest pickups in sales and prices. Home sales in Vancouver fell sharply in June on a year-to-year basis. The supply of the homes for sale reached a 3-year high. There are a few hot housing markets these days. Ottawa and Montreal stand out, but elsewhere prices are, for the most part, up or down just a little. So it's this little trickle effect that's happening. It's trickling up a bit or trickling down. And things are changing, guys. Now, with these stress tests and all these backup checks and bringing in the right pay stubs and the right back in up until last year, you could go in and you could just declare your income. You don't even have to prove it. Mr. Tal said the next 1 to 3 years could be tricky for housing, in part because rising interest rates. The Bank of Canada has a window to increase its trend-setting overnight rate on Wednesday for the 4th time in the past 12 months. And 5 out of the 7 economists in one recent survey saw rates increasing. Other things weighing on housing this year include the ramping up of mortgage stress tests to ensure borrowers can afford high rates at the risk of the long current economic expansion lapsing into recession. We will have a recession 2 or 3 years from now because it's time, he said. The national savings rate cited in CIBC study is an imprecise measure that it looks just at what's left over in household after tax income after all spending. Rising value in your home or your investments is left out, which help explain why the official savings has been locked in range between roughly 3 to 5% since 2009. Now it's 4.4%. While many people have doubled their money or better in housing, back in the early 1990s, the savings rate exceeded 10%. That's correct, people. Back in the day, people saved a lot more money. Now, what I'm afraid of is if this falls apart like a house of cards, they're trying to cushion it right now. They're trying to prepare people to start saving and start cushioning their money. Woo! Look at this. I keep getting these from Clip Converter pop up here. Hey, are you a T fan? Check out my new photos. It's like I keep getting these now from Clip Converter. Sometimes I use it to convert videos from YouTube. And now I keep getting this stuff. It's nice. It's very nice, but not when I'm doing a live stream. But that's okay. So 10%. So I'm afraid that if this crumbles like a house of cards, there's going to be a bank. There's going to be bail-ins where they're going to start. I think they're going to start hitting people's savings accounts, and it's usually the people that are not part of this crap. Saved their money, couldn't afford to buy, so just to save their money. Then they end up losing a portion of it to pay for this crap that people did. That's the problem, and that's what I'm worried about, is people's hard-earned savings getting siphoned off from an implosion or a bail-in from the bank, where they decide, you know, we're just taking part of your money. Or you're going to start seeing lineups at the bank machines because people are trying to take their money out. So to prevent a runoff on the banking system or a runoff on a monetary fund, what they do is they do what they did in Cyprus and Greece. They do like €5 a day or 20 euros a day is your maximum withdrawal. So I'm afraid of that happening in Canada, because if it does, it's the working poor that didn't buy and didn't party with these people because they were smart have to pay for this mess. Hot housing has been a feel-good personal finance story of the 2000s so far. Enjoy your gains, but recognize how your behavior as a saver has been altered for worse, then make adjustments for when housing does actually cool off. If you're in debt, especially non-mortgage debts, with a comparatively high interest rate, get that paid off soonest. Then redirect the least of your former debt to repayment money into savings into long-term investments. While it's going to be a challenge, Mr. Tal sees this shift to active savings as a good thing for personal finances. I would rather see active savings because passive savings is a reflection of an asset value, can change quickly, while active savings is more permanent. Remember guys, housing has changed. Housing has turned into a commodity. It's no longer an investment. People don't buy homes anymore to raise families. People buy homes to flip, or people buy condos not even to live in, just to flip them when the time is right. And yeah, that's what's happening here, guys. My question to you guys, especially if you're in this rut or in this problem, what do you have for a game plan? If your LTV, if your loan to value is maxed out, and you got credit cards and you got lines of credit and you got all kinds of crap rolling around, what do you have going on to protect yourself? Or what's your game plan, your strategy? Comment below. I really want to know what your game plan is with this. I'd be very interested to understand. Anyways, guys, I really hope the working poor that didn't buy into this crap shoot doesn't have to pay for this with bank bail-ins. I really hope. I hope this never happens, because I'll be paying for it too, basically, if they jump into people's accounts, and it's not a good thing. Anyways, comment below. I really like to know what you guys think about this in the comments. And guys, please don't forget to visit my eBay store. The link is up top on the top of my channel next to all the little links. Don't forget to check out my eBay shop if you want to support the transmission. Stop sending me money, just money for nothing. Please just buy something if you want, okay? Thanks for watching. Let me know. Game plans in place. Are they bringing out these articles to cush people or get people to help preparing for the big crash? So there's a little bit of a bumper there, or a little bit of aggregate there to help push back a little bit of the personal crash that will happen to every friggin' everyone living in an English-speaking country will be affected by this. Comment below, let me know.